I maintain, which is which is kind of a plus in some aspects and a negative in some aspects, as far as when you just maintain and you're not really going anywhere and you're not losing. So I maintain, but I know I can always do better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 2018, I didn't have any beefs. I didn't have no babies. Nothing really negative happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really greatly positive happened to me, either. So it's like, this year, I want to see a noticeable positive event or something happen in my life that takes me to where I want to go. 2018 was just kind of even kill year for me, honestly. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really, like I said, it wasn't a great year or it wasn't a bad year. So in 2019, I know I need to make moves to go further in life or where I want to see myself, and not just be content with just being okay or maintaining or staying the course or whatever. So that's pretty much how my 2018 was, and how I plan on changing it in 2019 is yet to be determined, but I will put some things in forth, to further that goal I have in mind. Okay.
My 2018, it was a year of change for me. I finally graduated. Started working, making good big girl money. That's new. So yeah, there was a lot of change. I think I got complacent at the end. When you work really hard and you accomplish something, you just want time to sit back and enjoy it. So that's what I did. Probably longer than I should, but you live and you learn. So yeah, for 2019, a couple things I want to attack. On a personal level, this may be my last year being single.
That's what's up.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Last year for life or last year for the foreseeable future?
I already get anxiety with commitment in general. Please don't put that on me right now.
I saw your eyes flutter.
Too much. The room start closing. Let me just. I don't know yet, Joe. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. He's a great guy, so it's a possibility. So yeah, maybe we'll see. I gotta wait till the magic wear off. So we just saw each other, so if I feel the same way next month, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. Financially, I think I want to not operate in fear anymore. I think especially with people who came up in poverty or lacking, we have a tendency to want to hold on tight to money because you're worried, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I need to make sure I'm okay. But this year, I would much rather, I guess, play to win, for lack of a better term, and not play to not lose, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So definitely being more bold with, putting money towards cutting down debt, investing money, all that stuff, and just moving forward with a positive outlook, as opposed to, oh God, what if I lose my job or something insane like that? So trying to get over those fears. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oz? What? Yeah, Oz.
I knew Oz.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you gonna stop being weird in 2019?
No.
I'm going to turn it up.
Let Oz be him.
You already see how I've been acting at work.
Yo, this nigga's been acting. Y'all don't see this shit. He been acting wild as shit. He been talking wild, crazy. I'm like, yo, this dude is wild. Yo, you gotta chill out.
Nah, it's just New Year's gonna be just evolve even more. Just do a lot of things better. Look at my past years and kind of just work myself around that and do better than what I did before. Essentially, that just advance and move forward. Pretty much, I'm not looking at the past.
Joe?
Yeah, so 2018 was a year of kind of discovery. Basically, what they call cleaving, fermenting the marriage. And it's the third year. It was an important year because we just grew. Like you think you grew already tight. But you realize you have even more to do, and it was a year of that. It was a very powerful year. conceived my first son. He's now 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out before he's born. So really, it's about energy. It's about like Sean said, being positive, being powerful in everything that you do, and as Kia said, without fear. I preach that all the time. You know, there's no such thing as fear. Like when I saw my parents, when I visit their gravesite, and I see the grass. I'm like, what's the fear? Like that's how it ends. But no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a, T-shirt. I won't say it on air, but basically it's like you succeed and you run and you hustle, and then you die, right? So you have to understand that it's more to it than just what we're doing here. So it's more about that, seeing the bigger picture, being positive, being powerful, being energized. I started a fast, but kind of evolved into 1 meal a day. Just working out every day, so that's a part of my energy thing. But other than that, it's just about being your best, being my best self. Everybody in my household and everybody that I'm around. So that's about it.
Okay. I mean, I talked briefly about it. I mean, 2018 was just me figuring out certain things about myself. It is personal growth, seeing that I got certain habits that I need to stop doing. I got certain ways of thinking that I should probably stop. Certain things, just how I conduct myself with other people. Like I have to chill out on certain things like that. Certain relationships with people that I need to either mend or sever. And then put myself out there to be in a relationship, because I'm not gonna lie. I was single 8 years or something like that. I didn't want to be with nobody. I truly did not. I was like, nah, I'd rather just be by myself, because the shit works. I know me. I know what I like. I know how to deal with me accordingly. So this time around, I was like, you know what? Let me put myself out there, because it might be something about me that I can learn from a relationship. That hey, maybe I've been doing this wrong, or maybe there are certain things that I need to change. So when it comes to me and T, what I'm saying, we try to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely not peaches and cream, I'll tell you that. But it's one of those situations, as long as you communicate, you figure things out about yourself. Like I learned so much about myself as far as how I deal with certain situations. Even dealing with certain women in my past, I can see now that I was really cold. Like really, really cold. Like Josh will tell you, I was a fucking savage. Like I did not care. I was like, all right. They're like, oh, I care about you. I was like, don't do that. I'm like,
that's the quickest way to get ghosted. I think I care about you. No response.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll respond, but I'll let them know like, you cool. Like, yo, there was other situations where I was just really a savage. So it took for me to be like, you know what? I need to stop doing that. I need to put other people's feelings ahead of mine sometimes. And I need to understand that, eventually I'm going to have to deal with commitment, things like that, because I've never been scared of being committed to one person, but I've been scared of being committed to somebody and having some shit blow up later on, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when you be like, yo, I've been down, and then find out like, you weren't even down for me. Mm-hmm. That's the shit I've always been scared of, because I mean, most of my friends, I'm not going to say anybody at the table, nothing like that, but a lot of dudes that I do know coming up, they'll get in a committed relationship, but then they just keep doing bullshit on the side. Whereas me, I've always been the opposite. Like, yo, if I'm with you, I'm with you. We're going to rock out. So for this next year is more on learning how to be a better person in a relationship and how to properly convey my feelings about certain things without coming off, number one, as an asshole, but at the same time without sounding whiny too. Because don't no chick want no whiny ass niggas. But at the end of the day, you can't be that one dude who just sits there and not say nothing. Eventually, you have to say something. And with somebody like me, in the past, I would just let things build up. So then now I got a year's worth of shit that I've been angry about that I never said nothing about. And now it all comes out. That's not a good way to do it. Yeah. So I've now learned to choose my battles, so to speak. Like, all right, if this is bothering me, let me go ahead and say something about it, because I want to let you know this is a problem. Yeah. If it's something that's not bothering me, it's like, all right, it is what it is. And I want that to be for, anything else. you know, in life. If I'm bothering somebody, I want them to give me the same respect and, you know, the same type of opportunity to fix something too, because you never know. So, but that's pretty much my little recap of everything. Relationships, growth. Oh, and trying to make this podcast dope as fuck.
Dope AF.
Like, the first thing I said, like, in the news, I'm like, oh, I'm on it. Oh, and I saw your boy at the airport.
Who did you see at the airport?
Ryan Davis.
Oh, okay.
Shout out
I
to
was
him.
like, who the hell?
Who the fuck is my boy?
Yeah, I'm saying like that.
You know that I know. Yeah,
You never know
listen.
who I know. But nah, I saw him at the airport and I was like, yo, what's up? He was like, yeah, da da da. This and that. I was like, okay. I'll keep in touch with you.
Fuck you, ain't
I was like, yo, I'm gonna keep in touch with you. I got you. Don't worry about it. We gonna figure some shit out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gonna have some things in the works. You know, when it comes to this, we about to grind out with the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Do what we gotta do to get to that next level. You know, we coming up on year 3. Well, I am at least. You know what I'm saying? Coming up on year 3, and you know, you learn something new each year. You learn how to add people. I wouldn't say get rid of people because you know some people just have to. You know, they exit at their exit. This is a train. That was their exit. That was their stop. That's cool. You know, if they want to get back on, you know, the train does come back around.
Yeah.
But with the podcast, it's like, you know, I for one see we have opportunity, like a real big opportunity to be more than what we are. You know what I'm saying? So that's the energy I'm pushing. That positive energy for us to keep doing what we're doing, and you know, do more of the positive shit we're doing with it. You know, everything that works. But this one thing I did want to jump into. Y'all saw what happened at McDonald's?
What?
I heard about it.
There was the McDonald's.
Oh, you talking about with the
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
So it was a white dude. Was he drunk? I think.
I don't know, because when I saw the video, I just seen him lean over. I don't know.
So
Grab it, shorty.
from what I can tell, he was
shit.
arguing about or mad about
Was it
straw,
straw?
some
Yeah.
shit like that. So him and a young lady, black lady, they're kind of going back and forth, and I guess she just let him know whatever. He reaches over the counter and grabs her, so she starts punching him in his shit.
Beat his head.
Oh, I did hear about that. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
at a McDonald's though,
Yeah, it
because
was
he
at
was
McDonald's.
asking for her to be
Something.
fired, but they were like,
I know,
"No, we're not
they-
gonna fire her for that."
I heard they fired.
I heard they didn't.
See, and that's the thing. I don't know what really. I'm gonna give it about another week. You know, we'll give people an update on that one. This is the thing that had me. I'm not gonna say conflicted, but it was something that just stood out to me. So people who saw the video, they were like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was right for putting hands on," which I'm like, "Yeah, I agree with that." But then they was like, "What about them brothers that was around? They ain't even try to protect her, help her." I'm like, "All right, they broke it up, but what else do you want them to do?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you can't expect them to just go out there and just like start stomping the nigga out now. Like,
Yeah.
that'll be going too far.
Right.
And that's just how I feel, like, just from a work experience. Because we had somebody that we know at work get into a fight with somebody at work.
Yeah.
You can't just stomp people out. You can stomp it the most you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the person being assaulted, it's free range with them. If they, you know what I'm saying, fuck you up, yeah, you brought that on yourself.
Yeah.
But if I see somebody, you know what I'm saying, getting, assaulted at work, the most I can do is break it up. Because if I start fucking somebody up, unless they start swinging at me, then, it is what it is now. Now, that fight has transferred from you to me. Let's go. The most we can do is just break it up. I just feel like for us to, because they was calling them, the young men, like, oh, that's why the black woman has to do everything herself because black men won't even stand up for us and that. I'm like, that's kind of a reach, guys. Like, that's a stretch. I mean, it's different if niggas just stood there all together and was like, oh, shit. Yo, he beat her ass. But if niggas done went over there and like, hey, yo, break this up. Yo, done grabbed the man up, broke it up. Cool. There's nothing else you can really do.
And at the same time, they would have like took it totally off the girl, and it would have been the guys now. That's the ones that's looking at.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that becomes a situation where you're not defending yourself now. With her, she's defending herself. That becomes now, you stop the fight, and now you're assaulting somebody.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds
and that's tricky when it comes to the law.
It sounds like those people would just already had that belief system about black men in general and just sort of had an opportunity to say it again. But I would say that if that's true and she was able to defend herself well against him and against that dude and punched him in the face, as I heard.
Oh, she punched the fuck out.
Then and I'm assuming that they know the girl, the young lady. They already know she's about that life.
Yeah.
So there's some women that I know if somebody says something to them,
she got it.
I don't have to do shit because they gonna fuck the dude up. Right. And there's some women that I know don't got it, and I'm gonna be ready at the ready. So it depends on what it is. But as she beat him up, why go in and catch an assault charge?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's dumb for them to say that. But if a woman can handle a man, I saw a woman knock a man out. Every woman is not the same. So I'm saying, so it depends on the woman. It depends on the dude too.
I think a lot of people are trying to put those brothers in a hard place because they looking at it like, yeah, I can break this up, but what if I get fired? Like, this is my employment. This is my bread and butter. I got responsibilities, and me putting myself in a situation where I take it further than what it needs to go, that could jeopardize my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like people want, brothers to jeopardize their livelihood, and I'm not saying like that has to be the case. In that case, like you said, a young woman was handling herself, and if them brothers had jumped in and assaulted that man, then it could have went further, and they could have got fired for a situation that they ain't had nothing to do with. They just stepped in, was basically being a good Samaritan, and that's a coworker and a friend or whatever, and they didn't want to see no harm come to it. But it's like, a lot of them brothers probably got kids and things going on. They're like, man, I want to break this shit up. I know this shit is wrong, but man, if we fuck this dude up, I know, man, we might get fired, man. I got shit to do. And it's kind of like, because I be thinking, like at my job, you know what I'm saying? And I've had this conversation with females at my job, like if a passenger come through and is unruly with them or tries to get physical with them, I'm going to have to step in. Now, it's up to the passenger how far that situation going to go. I'm going to step in and let them know, like, hey, look, that's a female. You're not finna sit here and assault her while I'm around. But at the same time, I'm not going to just, because he's trying to hurt her or physically assault her, I'm not going to try to kill the dude at the same time. I'm just going to, I'm going to do it in a way where he's not going to hurt her in a way where it's like, I'm not trying to take it too far where I'm trying to actually hurt this man. I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation in whatever way I can at the same time where all parties, where it doesn't get to a whole nother level, because I feel like, sometimes when you're in a situation, sometimes people are logical about it where they like, I'm just going to handle this situation, de-escalate it, because I know this could jeopardize my responsibilities and things I got going on. And sometimes people just forget where the fuck they at and like, man, fuck it. I'm just going to go all out and I'm going to lay all my cards out and see whatever the consequences is, I'm just going to deal with it. And you know what I'm saying? So you had them type of people that like, yo, he want to turn up. I'm about to show this nigga we really about that life. Don't let this uniform fool
I can go to Burger King tomorrow.
The problem is, you lay all the cards on the table. You got nothing but hearts, but we playing spades. You fucked. Like that's the bad side to that. So what would you say, Key? Because you're a
couple
female.
points. One, I do not agree with the rhetoric of black men don't protect women. Growing up, I always had a lot of male friends that were black. I call them my brothers, and oftentimes, and Bria can attest to this, after 2 a.m. in the club, niggas get live, they want to shoot, they want to fight, they want to stab, and I was always good. Like, they always made sure I was good, so I never experienced that. Even, I think recently I saw something, I think it was on, I don't know if it's true or not, but there was a picture of this man, like, sitting on a car in the projects with, like, an AK. And the caption was, apparently a woman was trying to move out of her home in the projects, but she had some issues with the guy that she was living with, and she was afraid to go back. So she called the cops, and the cops basically were like, nah, we ain't really fucking with that neighborhood. Like, you're kind of on your own, basically. So she asked him, and so he came out there, made sure she was good, got all her stuff, everything went off without incident, and she was gone. So,
that's dope.
I don't agree with that rhetoric. Let me first say that. The only place that I could see them really possibly stepping in is before he reached around and kind of like when they were going back and forth, like you said, stepping in before that just to de-escalate the situation. But if they didn't choose to do that, or let me say, if they did choose to do that, it was also a possibility that this man would have felt threatened because now here's a man that's coming to me. So regardless of what you're saying, I feel like I gotta step it up. Because I know in customer service, I've had specific incidents where it was a guy and another guy, especially at Sherwin-Williams, it's all nothing but guys that come in there, but they were having words. Like, he was ready to hit this man, and I stepped in as a woman, like, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And that brought the situation down. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's my, hey. All right, cool, you know, like, because they wasn't trying to hear each other. So a little estrogen in that situation made things a little better, you know? So yeah, I that's the only place that I could really see. I mean, sound like he regretted reaching out there because she gave him them hands. So they did the next best thing, which was take them apart. I don't really see what else they could have done in that situation. Like, I don't get it.
The crazy part, he tried to play victim after the fact. They
They
always do that. But like, even what you kind of said before, like, okay, somebody could probably step in, right? But ain't nobody gonna know he gonna actually grab hold of the fucking counter. You know what I'm saying? Like, an argument is an argument, because I know we have those all the time.
And plus, they're on fries. They're on fries.
Well, here's my problem.
So they're behind. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10.
He not on lettuce.
9 times they're on fries.
I'm
They're
convinced.
putting
They got 9
lettuce on the Big Mac.
It's the chair. It's the chair. That's
So-
what makes it.
No. You go to McDonald's. Who's the one taking your order most of the time? A woman, right? 9 times out of 10. Who's the man behind the counter putting your nuggets in the container? A dude. How are you gonna run around that metal shit and know the dude's gonna grab her? Right? Where? You know what I'm saying? So they on fries and they don't have time for that. But she handled them.
But here's my problem.
Over secret sauce?
No disrespect. Hard work is hard work.
Here's my problem with it. What people comment about brothers ain't protecting sisters. They got the lines blurred between what happens in the street, where it can be no rules and brothers can do that.
Exactly.
When you in a place of employment, it's a certain line you got to walk where you can't just turn up. Like I said, some people do and don't give a fuck if they're in the street or at work. But a lot of people can't do the thing. Nobody can do the things they do in the street at work. It's just reality. So for the most part.
Okay. Because I was about to raise my hand. Like,
but the point that you made about them possibly losing their job, that's also them, because like you said, if they have a family, you lose your job and you got kids and a woman at home.
Situation
now
you ain't
who's
even having to
protecting
do it.
and who's
just
providing for them?
There.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just not like.
So I mean, I think
like the outcome is not worth the action on that one, especially
I mean, if they pulled them apart, I feel like they did.
Yeah, they did. I think looking at the video, they pulled them apart. Of course, Shorty was still ready to turn up. She full of adrenaline. She ready to get it popping. Yeah. So they had to separate her.
I'm about to say, because she ran hot grease too. Y'all know.
Hey, she about to agree.
Black women ain't got no sense now.
Like,
no sense.
French fries. It's crispy.
He already look like one.
Damn. I kind of want McDonald's now, and I ain't had that shit in about a year and some change. God damn it.
Them fake fries.
It was a commercial, that's all.
Yo, Joe got you jokes this year.
Hey, they should have ended it with 365 black.
They should have showed that video and ended it with Hey, they should have showed that video with that girl punching that dude and be like, I'm thugging it. Everything else about that wife and Biggie D.
I can't, bro.
R&B is like, I love my shakes and I love my fries.
All be paid.
Exactly. Like, serve these hands. Damn, bro. Like, okay.
You get a super size animal.
Like, ba 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 ba. Like, oh,
Listen,
that's gonna be the new commercial. Like, run up, get
hey,
done.
I don't know who be doing these memes in gyms, but somebody please do that to their video. Please.
Oz, get on that.
Anybody.
Get on that.
Somebody.
Please get on that, Oz. I know you can do it. Get on it, please. That's something
that's
that you
going
should
viral, bro.
Come on, we just give you like 8 ideas. Like, come on, G. But yeah. I mean, honestly, I've had situations. Like, okay, I've been at work, and me and my girl, we work at the same place. We don't work with each other, which is great, honestly, because I'm the type of person, and I don't know if it's because I'm just overprotective. I mean, I'm the oldest out of 5. I have sisters. That's just, I've always been that way. And then, when my grandfather died, I had to be super protective for my grandmother and my sister anyway. So whenever I hear about somebody talking to my girl recklessly, about my girl recklessly, or if I feel like something's about to pop, I feel like I have to step in immediately, especially with the type of temperament she has, because she's so chill and nice. I'm like, and I told her, yo, people gonna take advantage of that. They don't take advantage of me doing that. Like, I'm a nice guy, but I don't have that look at all that I'm friendly. I'm always looking angry half of the time. And I have to tell people, that's just my face. I'm sorry.
Half the time?
99% of the time I look angry.
Yeah.
That's just my face. That's just me. You know, you grow up in New Jersey, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to look friendly and shit. That's how you get robbed and get snuffed. Like, nah, you gotta look like you with your shits at all the time. So, I'm all for protecting, right? And there's been times where, you know, dudes done said some wild shit to my lady while we kind of worked with each other. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't there, because I'd have been the person, I'd have jumped in, because she's all like, I handled it. No. I'm going to handle it, because he thinks shit is sweet. So I'm not going to be like, yo, I'm going to fuck you up. But I'm like, hey, my man, that's a female, number one. You're not going to talk to her like that. She got to do her job, blah, blah, blah. I need you to give her an apology. And we going to do this the right way, or you just not flying. So how we going to do this? And 9 times out of 10, they just like, all right, you know.
The choice is yours.
Yeah, like the choice is yours. Yeah, bro. I mean, but I'm telling them, like, yo, we either going to do it this way, we going to do it that way. Because this nigga will let you know, Josh will definitely let you know, I'm always about that smoke at any given time. Because I've invited many passengers to the parking lot. Like, yo, you really feel some type of way. Ain't no cameras across the street. Do you want to go over there? No, I'm just saying. No, what are you saying? Because you was talking spicy for a second. Now that you see that I'm with the same energy you're on, you don't like it. Oh, okay, then let's go ahead and get on through here, sir. Thank you. All right, let's go. Right. Move it. Like, let's go. So I can see, like, with me, like, if I was working at that McDonald's, I'm not saying I probably would have jumped over and started snuffing old buddy. Like, nah. I'm going to yoke him up, though, in the way that I yoke him up. He going to feel that strength. Like, oh, shit, let me pipe down real quick. Like, yeah, chill out. You see, I got you in the air right now, right? You see that, my man? I got you in the air. Like, you want to calm down, chill? All right, let's go. Give her an apology. Come on, man. Like, we're men at the end of the day. Like, you got it. You're wrong. Apologize for what you did. Keep it pushing. Here's your straw. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I would handle it. But
and that's not even our culture. I mean, the women in my family, the women that I know, our dynamic is, black women's dynamic is not the damsel in distress.
Not usually. From
Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth, that's not what I grew up seeing. I grew up seeing a mother that would shoot somebody as quick as my father would shoot somebody. Yeah. I didn't grow up with a mother, oh, help me. Like, that's not what I saw. Old ladies with the knife in their in the gloves, stabbing people in the back. The shotgun and the knife. I mean, I didn't. It's not okay. That's not even our culture. You know. Whoever said that, whoever's criticizing the dudes is not even aware, or just talking dumb shit. Because I can stand back and say my sister could whip anybody's ass. Like, I've seen it, male, men or women. Like, I never had to be like, well, now something would have happened. No, my sisters are married. They had relationships before. But when something happened to them, they handled it. Yeah. It was done. I didn't have to step in on any of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not reality. You know?
Yeah. So I feel like even with me, like, in the relationships that I have been in, I'm always the first one to pop off. Like, he might pop off later, but that's because when he do it, it's serious. Like, somebody may die.
That's how it goes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. But me, I'm gonna check you off top. Like, what do you? I'll probably check, especially when it comes to my significant other. Like, you're not gonna do that. Mm-hmm. Nah.
Yeah. I think the way for me, like, don't get it twisted. I'll let T say whatever she gotta say if she needs to say it. Mm-hmm. I'll assess the situation. I feel like that's what happens with, you know, whoever you're dealing with. We're as men, we're assessing the situation, because as a man, we could look at another man and be like, "You not about that action."
Yeah.
Like, you really ain't about that action. Because if you were, you wouldn't even be arguing with my old lady right now. Like, it wouldn't even be going down. It would be me and you right now. You wouldn't be saying nothing to her. It would have been no words. We'd have been throwing hands. Yeah. So if you over here arguing with her, all right, we ain't got nothing to worry about. All we trying to make sure is that you don't call her no bitches and all that shit. If you call her a bitch, I might have to snuff you, or I might have to choke you up real quick. Like, what's up?
Back in the day, that'd get me to hit you. I ain't lying.
We've seen a situation like that.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I seen a video.
I don't
know if y'all seen this shit. I seen a video. It was a young nigga though.
Yeah.
A dude, they was at a bus stop, and a dude slapped his girl twice.
Yeah. He
didn't do shit. His homeboys had to get him off the bench and be like, yo, you need to go handle that.
Hey, like, you know what though? We didn't see that video earlier. He might have slapped that nigga 5 times though. But he might have slapped that dude about 5 times prior.
They shouldn't even have to go get him, pick him up.
My college boyfriend, I'll never forget. I used to work like 2 jobs, so we'd get off at 2 in the morning, drive 30 minutes to go just lay next to my college boyfriend, back up at 7. So the guy across the hall used to play his music like ridiculously loud. Like it would sound like the radio was in our room.
That's terrible.
Right? So I heard he got up. He was like, hey man, can you turn it down? My girl in here, she's trying to sleep, gotta get up early in the morning, blah, blah, blah. Came back, laid back down. He didn't turn the music down. So he came back. He's like, hey man, listen, I need you to turn your music down. My girl in here, she trying to sleep. So I don't know what the dude said, but he was like, man, all I'm saying is turn your fucking music down. So when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, let me get up. This is not gonna be good. And so when I came to I was like, you know, it's cool, let's go back to bed. He was like, hey man, fuck you, fuck that bitch. And as soon as he said that, I couldn't even get out, bitch, before like my boyfriend had slammed him into his damn house, like, and he was in the kitchen, like he was whooping his ass, and I was like, I should stop this because you got practice in the morning, and
he is practicing,
but he deserved it, so
the thing is, the dude who said that, there's no way he could say that and not know consequences not coming. There's no way he thought he was gonna get away with saying some shit like that. And then didn't think no smoke was gonna happen immediately afterwards. And if he thought that, he a fucking fool. Cause ain't no way you gonna you ain't no man. Well, okay, I ain't gonna say no man. Most men are not going to tolerate disrespecting a woman in front of them.
Yeah,
son, that is me.
It worked out well too. When he came back, I gave him some. We didn't go to bed. And I was like, "Thank you, dear.
Because you know what though,
you deserve all of this."
This is the flip side of that, right? Say, and I've told this to my lady. I was like, yo. The moment that I don't do something, I'm criticized.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I told her, it's a lose-lose situation with me if that's the case. Because if you go and look at it like I'm wrong for, checking somebody, or I don't went too far, if I don't do something, I'm still looked at as wrong. So it's one of them situations where I'm like, I'm cool with that. I don't mind being a bad guy. You know what it is? I'm going to be Batman in this situation. He's the hero that everybody needs, but nobody deserves. Okay? Like... You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really cares about Batman. They think he's a menace. He's a vigilante. Look, but you need him. I'm Batman in that situation.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
No, you're not.
You're not even Robin. Here's the thing. You want to make sure you Batman and not Captain. And I ain't talking about America. I'm talking about Saber Ho.
Exactly. No, I've seen those situations. Look.
I'm over here.
That's what this dude. Oh, you thought, no, we ain't talking about America.
You know what I'm talking about.
We ain't talking about Captain Marvel.
Not Saber Ho.
We're not even talking about Captain Kangaroo.
And hoes deserve to be saved sometime too. They ain't dog.
Just not by me.
But another aspect to this also, for the women who said that, I would be curious to know what their thoughts are when it comes to gender equality in the workplace. I'm just curious because I feel like, no, for real, because if that's the case, then they at work, so she should be able to handle her own, period. Like, if that, I would just want to know, like, just curious, because, I mean, I still expect men to protect women, like, of course, but when I'm at work, like, if I say I can do this job, then I can do it just like my male counterpart.
Very true.
So,
well, I got something I want.
Well, what's up, G?
No, I got an article I want to read.
Is it about this?
No.
Oh,
it's later.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I think, we'll end up beating a dead horse after a while. Like, we kind of know how we feel about it at the end of the day. It's like,
she beat his ass.
Don't disrespect a man, woman in front of them, and don't respect no smoke. Now, I ain't saying all men ain't gonna handle it. I would say 99% of them probably will.
Yeah.
But I know a couple 1%ers who won't.
Don't do it around me. That's all I say. If you disrespect my chick, I'm gonna fuck you up. That's just being real.
It's almost like
my woman. I'm beating your ass.
It's almost like disrespecting somebody's mama in front of them. Like,
exactly.
You can't.
Well, hold on.
He said,
don't disrespect my grandma.
Okay, I'll say somebody's parent, beloved.
There you go.
Guardian.
That works out better.
I'm trying to use a general term.
What are you trying to say? Somebody to give a fuck about?
Yeah, somebody I really care about.
Somebody you really care about.
And when it comes to me, like,
well, see,
I really care about.
I feel like as men, if some men is like, if you disrespect the opposite sex, if somebody we care about, that's what, like, if you disrespect, like, if I got a brother who like my age and you disrespect my brother, I mean, I'll be ready to turn up, but I know he can handle his own. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But if you disrespect a female, like, who I care about or love, that to me is men where we'll take it a step further than somebody who's a male as well, who we know can handle their own. Like, I just feel like as men, that's just something that's in it. Most men.
Yeah, we gotta keep saying most men.
Like you said, we've seen situations.
Yeah,
where,
we've seen some situations where it just doesn't go that way.
Yeah,
And,
that
you
ain't
know,
mine. I like to see mine. Speak up.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want to ass too?
But-
What?
This is the
Listen,
crazy
when
part.
I get you
I've
home.
seen-
Gotta speak.
I've seen so
Might
many
not
get
even
mad
people
at
we
shit
get
like
home.
that though. They like, oh, I could have
Might catch
handled
you
it
in the
myself.
bathroom while you
I'm
playing.
all right.
Because if that man get physical with you, you're not gonna be able to handle it.
Exactly.
My mindset is I've been handling shit myself the whole time. So I mean, why are you here if you can't do something? Do something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm here
Shit,
to
I
take
might as
your
well be by
slack.
myself.
Don't be a
What you
detriment.
talking about?
Exactly. If anything, be there to call the police or jump in if the niggas whooping my ass. That's what you supposed to do. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Oh shit. Baby, shit, baby. God damn it.
But
T, get the hammer.
Hey, I don't want to be the dead horse. I know we still on the subject, but I'm gonna say in situations it's been the opposite for me because it's been situations where I be out with a hood chick. And the nigga might have some words with me, and she be ready to fight before I do. I be like, God damn. I'm like,
calm down.
This nigga like 350, like, what talk about this? Nigga,
That's why she's coming to you.
I got damn linebacker. I'm like a $150 soaking wet. Like, what you talking about?
Fuck that shit. Bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
Hey.
Me and my nigga gonna beat your ass. Like, hold up.
Wait a second.
Listen, that's
Hey,
what.
hold up,
listen,
sir.
We are not a collective.
Sir, we're just having a conversation,
That's
sir.
150
It's-
nigga energy. That's not 350 nigga energy.
You call him
Bring
sir?
that down.
Yeah. Hold on, sir.
We call this,
I do not speak for her, sir.
But especially if he's a black, like my
You
black
my
brother.
peoples. You my peoples.
Yeah.
Come on. The white man want this.
Yeah.
You're my black brother. She is wilding right now, isn't she? Come on, give me some. Like, she's like,
Hey,
oh,
dog.
bitch ass nigga, you need to chill out, young
Yeah,
lady.
you chill out, young lady.
Gosh,
way too much
Look
here.
here,
Okay.
Creola or
Creola.
Crayola,
Crayola. That's
whatever the
what
hell the name is or something like that. Like, look here, Shaniqua.
Yeah, I've had
Calm
hood
down.
chicks ready to turn up before, like, it ain't even get to that point. Y'all just ready to,
Turn up.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah,
But it's
I
all
can't say
good.
I'm a hood chick, but I'm a, you know.
It's all jokes, people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if that's how you feel, look, honestly, if my old lady turn up like that, that shit gonna make, I'm gonna be turned on because I'm like, that's loyalty to me.
oh yeah,
That's loyalty. That's how I feel. Like, I'm a big person. Like, love is a big thing, but loyalty is way bigger than me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, keep it funky. And I heard 21 Savage on Breakfast Club. A lot of people don't really pay attention to that young man. Just gonna sound weird coming from me, but that nigga had a lot of like shit to say, and it made sense. Like, he was like, yo, because you can love anybody. Anybody can love somebody. Like, I can love a certain person, and then I stop loving them. They can get that love from somebody else. But loyalty, that's hard to find, man. Like, loyalty is something that, like, you got to earn it. And once you have it, it's not like it really goes anywhere unless you really do some fuck shit. So if I see my old lady, like, she like, nah, we in this shit together. This nigga popping off at the mouth, I'm with you. That's loyal, because you looking like, yo, I might potentially catch this ass whooping too.
Loyalty is love.
It is. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
I ain't know what love is, really. What the fuck?
I mean,
What is that exactly?
Yes, but a lot of these rappers like 21 Savage, Kevin Gates, they say interesting thing on interviews, but
We ain't gonna talk about Kevin Gates though. That nigga got female hips.
Okay, I
heard
thought
about
I was
that.
the only one that looked
Yeah,
at
he
him
got
and thought he
female
looked like
hips.
somebody old auntie. Like, I don't.
And he got the weird blonde hair, like he's bugging now.
I
know he had
don't-
blonde
That's-
hair.
I think he
told
look
him.
like he about to take Medea's place. Like, it's a lot.
Right.
Boy, everybody,
Top.
he is young ma, bro.
Young mom.
He old mom.
I listen to 21
He
Savage
is young
album.
ma.
Nah, I'm not talking about his album. I'm just talking about.
No, I'm just saying, like, a lot of them cats who, like, have interesting interviews like that,
Yeah.
you would think, like, maybe their thoughts would translate to their music, and sometimes,
I mean, you know, he a young nigga, so it is. What it is.
I mean, he making money, so.
yeah, I ain't mad at
I
it.
mess it up.
I salute the young man. That's what's up. You know. So, what you had to talk about, Josh?
Oh, let me read this article.
Please
This
read
shit-
it.
This shit bugged the fuck out of me.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna read the headline.
Go ahead.
Headline.
Actor called homophobic for telling gay men to stay out of his DMs.
Oh, I think I did see that.
That's the dude from Empire, ain't it?
I don't know if he's
Let
from
me
here.
see. The light skinned dude.
Is his name Christian Keys?
Ain't that the dude from Empire? Show her the picture. You watch Empire?
This dude?
Who's that?
Oh, no, that's the dude that be in all the Medea movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
watch
so
that movie.
let me read this. Let me read this. I'm gonna read the
Well, he in the
article. and
plays.
his
I don't know
response.
about the movies, though.
Okay, so actor Christian Keys is being called homophobic for telling gay men to stay out of his DMs. He received a backlash from the gay community after asking gay men to stop making sexual comments to him in his DMs. I ain't gonna even play the video because he got a video where he's saying that. I'll just read out what he said. So he said, "So I'm out of order or homophobic for requesting that men don't send me sexually inappropriate messages. I ask respectfully. That should be enough. If y'all read and saw some of the bullshit that I get sent on a weekly basis, you would be offended too. Mm-hmm. If men sent the type of comments that I get to women, that would be deemed sexual harassment. #MeToo type of stuff. But but I should deal with vulgar, overly sexually graphic comments from men just because I'm a straight man. That's wrong and hypocritical. If I respect your truth, who you date and who you love without judgment, respect mine and don't send me that stuff. It's about respect.
Yo, all right. Before we,
I mean, I don't see any issues.
Yo, for him to put that out there, they must have been saying some wild shit.
They might have been saying dick pics.
They were like, yo, eat your butt.
Here's the thing. Here's why gay men have been hitting him up. Because he plays a gay actor on TV. So that's a lot of people not imitate art, yo. Right. So a lot of people are saying, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people are saying in the comments, because he played a gay actor, he invited this kind of attention. And if he was a straight man, he wouldn't even take that role up anyway. So he really gay.
That to me, that sounds like
that's kind of
stupid. When I hear people say, "Oh, well, you deserve to get raped because you had this on." That's what it sounds exactly like to me. Like, or "Oh, you deserve to get this kind of energy because blah." No, like that's not. No, yeah. That's crazy.
Like, here's the thing. Like, people, it's like people say he's homophobic. People forget what the word phobic means. It's
fear.
a phobia. You have a
fear.
Yeah.
A fear.
Does not mean just
that you hate him.
It doesn't mean you hate anybody.
Right.
He's not even necessarily scared of you. I think they're using the wrong words. They need to change the word.
The problem is, it's not the word, it's the use of the word. So I think I said this before on this podcast, I think what has happened is they've now gone, this pendulum has now, I guess, swung too far to the right when it comes to how homosexual people are dealt with. It's like now you can't even say, "Oh, well, that's not my shit." You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even say, "Well," you can't even say, "I disagree." If you say, then it's like, "Oh, you're homophobic." No, I'm allowed to disagree. Like I'm allowed to do that. Like I'm allowed to disagree with what you're doing. That's my choice.
Right.
I mean, they already disagree with what you want to do. Like it's the same thing.
I mean, it's my choice. That's like if people disagree with people having multiple sex partners. People disagree with a lot of shit. Like you allowed to disagree with that shit.
The gay dudes agree with you because they trying to do that too.
I'm just saying, in general, like you allowed to disagree with some shit. It's not like he's out here like gay people shouldn't be here or shouldn't do that. They're not. He's not being discriminatory. Just don't approach me. Right. Like I don't want to have to deal with that. Like stop.
But this goes back to what Jai and Sean been saying. Even before I think they probably saying this before I even got on the podcast, or maybe we just talked about it one day. It's a war on straight men out here.
Oh yeah, we've been saying that.
And I feel like it also gives the community in general a bad name when this happens because the guys that I know that are homosexuals, they don't make it their business to hit on straight men. Like that's not the guys that I know, and they'll make it very clear. Like I don't want you either. Like the fuck.
But I've heard, and I don't know. I've heard
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Some gay men get off on so-called turning straight men gay.
I don't know gay guys.
If you feel like you turned a straight man gay, he wasn't straight from the start.
That's my.
He's already gay.
He was curious, bro.
He wasn't even curious. He probably was already out here doing this shit
on the low.
Anyway. He's out here
There's
like,
a lot of niggas out here.
You know what I'm saying? I fucked him in the ass, but that ain't gay.
He was like,
for real. They be like, if they talk, they not gay.
Niggas. I kissed him in the mouth. I ain't like that shit though.
I ain't like that. Not one bit.
I would say.
That's a Boondocks reference. Who doesn't know?
Yeah, exactly.
I would say this though.
Teach these devils.
Yeah, 2 levels, right? Now, I'm assuming if he didn't play the role of a gay person, he wouldn't get as many.
I'm assuming that's
one factor. I don't. As far as gay men going after straight men, yes, that does occur. That does occur.
So-called straight men. Let's put it that way.
Well, no, I mean you can go after a straight man without.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
they might.
No, I'm talking about the one
fake.
I'm not saying that gay men approaching so-called straight men and straight men are fucking. I'm talking about
there's being approached.
Do gay men? Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the ones that actually turn them. That's what I'm talking about.
Do gay men try straight men?
Yeah,
they do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
that's happened to me. So yeah,
they definitely try. So I mean, it's crazy.
I'm sure you do.
Like for example, I'm on the Trinidad.
Oh shit.
Now, see that he knows he's from Jamaica. He knows Trinidad. It's crazy. crazy homosexual in Trinidad.
Really?
So
I did not
Caribbean.
know that either.
Listen, Caribbean.
Go ahead.
Caribbean in general.
Yes.
Is a lot. Undercover.
A
Like,
lot.
Yeah, because I heard that y'all that's a Babylon team.
Yeah, that's what I
yo,
heard.
they had a whole bridge that just gay people just lived under. Like it was like
Hold up, a little bridge?
Well, actually, no, it was an actual bridge. Yeah, they lived under. Well, they were mostly homeless, but they were like, you know, in Jamaica they don't tolerate that kind of thing. I'm not saying it's right. Don't get me wrong.
They do not
They have a
tolerate
whole
it.
bridge
They
that
will
they
fuck
fuck
you
up.
up for that.
I heard about it. That's why this is
Like,
surprising.
I mean, I knew a couple gay dudes down there. It's like you're dead now, so yeah, they don't play over there. Like it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's good at all.
That's with the Caribbean report.
I'll take the Caribbean report. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does occur. And if you're in certain environments, you definitely would see it. Especially if you go, like I said, even in Jamaica, even in Trinidad.
So you can go to Atlanta for that.
Yeah, but it's different
It's tolerant.
because you would have people you know from the States, and if they go there, they would not be the same people. You understand? Yeah. So
really?
that's what I've experienced. But like I was just surprised that I brought my college girlfriend with me. This is like the 09 Carnival, and I was like, well, the dudes is not even fucking with the women here. Like it's like the whole beach called Maracas in Trinidad. I was looking at it like, yo, there's like no dudes fucking with none of the chicks. I found that, and Trinity women are generally pretty sexy. Mm-hmm. So I was really confused as to why that is.
Good thing you went with a girl.
Huh?
Good thing you went with a girl.
Yo, I'm telling you.
Oh, we got Fran Prey out here.
Yeah, Fran. Yo,
look what size that one over there.
Damn, bro. What type of?
He's not exaggerating.
It would have went Crocodile Hunter on this.
Oh shit!
But that was a plan. Because my boy is from in Brooklyn. And knew him for like 9 years. He's doing I used to have dreads, so he's just doing my dreads.
What?
Yeah. And basically so we got cool. Then he did my college girlfriend's dreads after that. Right? So now we know him for 9 years, right? So then he became my barber. So now he's like, yo, I'm going to Carnival for my birthday, whatever. I was like, yo, you know what? Might be a good idea. But he was like, yo, girls, parties, food, right?
Right. So
now I'm like, bet. Then we're gonna go to the Brazil Carnival that happened before that. We're gonna fly back to Trinidad and go to that carnival. That was the plan. So now, very lit. So I get there. Very lit. Too lit for me. But the plan, I take it upon myself to invite my college girlfriend. I like to have certified.
I'm about to say something guaranteed.
Certified.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So I said, yo, y'all come with me. Now she had a baby father and her 3 babies back in Brooklyn and came with me.
Damn,
right?
baby father.
And the baby father stayed home with the pick-me.
Not the pick-me.
And thank God she went.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna laugh like I know.
Pick-me the children.
It's the cheer.
So
it's legit.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy out there. I didn't know Trinidad was like that. It's a strange. It's not a strange. It's a great island, but the energy you gotta be very careful out there. But the carnival was magnificent. But yeah,
I'm gonna start calling.
Hold on, Oz. This nigga just thought that he like I thought picnic was a dish. This nigga's crazy.
No, you think it's like
some kind of chicken and some sauce or some shit.
He like, man, I want some of that picnic.
He gonna Miami, right?
Yeah,
Miami,
he's going.
and then go to the Caribbean after that.
You gonna learn. You gonna see some shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling.
Bro, I see you done cut your hair for it too. You know what I'm saying? You try not to come back, are you? You ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
I mean,
he ain't coming back.
If they give me a job in Miami, I'm coming back.
What do you mean give you a job? Just go transfer.
That's too expensive. I don't make enough money.
You don't make enough money already. Right. I see. Look, I know you won't be in.
Oh,
exactly.
Lord.
Oh my goodness.
I'm starting to believe though, like they got the word Joe Schmo from this guy. you know how? Yeah. Because it's like, you know how they say like Joe Schmo is always that person that they fit
every job.
Man, yeah,
every
job.
What it is.
They looked at Joe was like, I'm so used to that.
I mean, they got Joe Smo, the average Joe. I mean,
Cool Joe.
Yes.
AKA the average Joe.
Joe.
AKA Joe versus pros.
Joe of all trades.
AKA, what's happening, brother? Can I borrow a dime? For real, I need a dime.
The white devil.
Wow.
Yo, y'all. So, I didn't know if we wanted to continue to keep talking about that, but there is something else that's going on right now at the moment, right? It's something. R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, we watched the first docuseries.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I heard
just
about
watching
it.
that for a while.
Well, Bria did.
I didn't watch any of it because I don't. What's it on Lifetime? Oh, I do have Lifetime. Shit.
It's on Sling.
I got some. Oh, you got Sling?
Bria and Brenda got Sling.
What, y'all be slinging? Oh,
I'm done.
Man, hold up. Speaking of sling, did y'all see the fucking commercial?
Oh yeah, those
Where they fucking
commercials.
swingers
It was like,
slingers.
oh, Sling.
Yo, that shit lit though. I'm
Yeah,
like, word.
that's
Like, yo,
funny.
they wow.
Yo,
Except
oh.
the black dude, he was like, wait,
What?
what? Like he was looking at his wife like, she good? She good with it?
Bruh, like, word. Yo, he was like, I'm about to fuck the shit out of you. You little Becky. Come here. You about to get all this mandingo. Come on.
I gotta see that.
I'm about to be
That
slinging
shit
for
funny
real.
as hell. I was like,
It's like two
whoa,
commercials,
they
yeah.
wild for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give
Wow.
you 25 inches. Down. That's what he's trying to give. I was like, because the price is 25 parts, you know.
Okay, yeah.
People don't know. But yeah, I forgot it's on Lifetime. So yeah. There's some people I've seen both sides. There's some people who are like, yo, y'all can't be out here protecting that man when he's kind of known for being kind of a pedophile. Then you got some people like, oh, y'all can't be out here trying to bury him when you know you got the same type of dude in your family that y'all just kind of sweep under the rug. I'm like,
Everybody ain't got
I mean,
that to do
those
with
are
their
both
family.
two valid
They
arguments,
are.
and
They
they don't
are.
have to be opposing arguments. I don't understand.
I feel like I feel like people are saying the same thing.
They don't have to
almost.
be opposing arguments.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they're saying the same thing, but they're not getting that they're probably having the same.
Well, and I think it's important to know that because I feel like, well, they are bashing his name. However, these are their encounters with him. It's not a, well, I heard or someone told me. It was I was here and this is what I saw. This is what I experienced.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a huge difference than just passing on what you heard. You know, but that's just.
I mean, one of the stories I heard was the chick said she seen they was on the bus and R. Kelly was fucking Aaliyah in the back of the bus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Why is that surprising though?
Oh, it's not surprising. I'm just saying, like that's
wow.
Yeah, and his
when she was
it
15.
his manager? I think his manager, like she apparently they rushed to get married because she was pregnant, and he was like, "Oh, we got her in trouble," and the manager was like, "I thought she wasn't gonna be fucking her." Like, damn, dog, like what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
That
so
was wild.
he was like,
I mean, he knew that though. I mean, put like
they all knew that though.
That's
Everyone
wild.
that was around him, all like one dude, he was like one music producer. He was like, I was at a party. He was like, I went to talk to him, and there was a girl standing next to him, butt ass naked, and he was just like rubbing on her butt, and he was like, I don't know how old she was. I didn't ask for ID, but she didn't look old enough to be here. So he was like, I just left. Like, I ain't want no parts of this.
These motherfuckers are taking Bill Cosby and he blatantly doing that shit. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's just crazy.
I
shit.
actually know a dude that used to he recorded R. Kelly. He was part of this group called UNFAMOUS, right?
Yeah.
And you know the group. I mean, it didn't really have that much of a, I guess, you know, a following or whatever. They're from Rock Hill though, so that's why it was kind of dope. Cause I was like, oh shit, you was actually part of this group. He was like, yeah, and I looked it up. I was like, wow, this guy was actually part of the group. And he was telling me like, he's with his own eyes seeing R. Kelly like, yeah, go fuck a chick that's like 16, 15, 16, maybe 17 years old, and then go fuck her mom too.
I believe it.
And I was like, I'm looking at him like, what? He's like, yeah, like that was the norm. He's like, I was like, what did you do? He's like, shit, ain't much I can do. Like, I gotta just let it be as is. Like, what am I do?
You the breadwinner. I mean, people just turn up. Now, is there a term for somebody who like? I mean, of course, we gonna say pedophile.
You know, let's say allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because we don't
allegedly
know
from all of this.
Yeah, this before we go any further. Allegedly, even for the shit that I just said, allegedly. But go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
Is there a term for somebody besides or is it just straight pedophile for somebody like R. Kelly who just
fucking young chicks?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, is it like do they consider like what I'm saying is do they consider like a mental?
I think that's
pedophilia.
Well, you know what he's trying to say is that there's three sides to this, in my opinion. He's trying to say that he was sexually molested when he was
between the ages of
7 to 14
by
a family member.
He said he didn't want to throw his family members under the bus. It suggested it was a female. I don't know if it was a female or male, but
his older brother, his younger brother, also
said he was molested by somebody
in the family.
Not his mother, not his father.
Yeah,
I think it was a female.
Who knows?
Might have been an aunt, which is not rare to be touched by an older female relative. Not rare, not at all. And my thing also is that we talked about this last week. That fundamentally, a 20-something-year-old male with a 14-year-old wife, not too long ago, was the norm.
Yeah, that was normal.
That was the norm. And if you were a woman over 25 and not married, you're beyond the old maid. That's why people look at Gabrielle Union trying to get pregnant at 50, and the woman's body just not meant for that. So it's like you have these stories where I know that when I heard Aaliyah married R. Kelly back in the day, that didn't stop nobody's rise. That didn't stop R. Kelly from doing R. Kelly shit. Aaliyah was not looked at any differently. They just went on with their business, but it was known they were together. But my thing is, most high school women at junior year, sophomore year, a lot of them, if they can, they do have outside boyfriends who are older. You know what I'm saying? Like in my high school, there was happened a lot. You drive up, somebody got the BM, and they 16 with the Louis Vuitton purse. Yeah, happens all the time. It's something that's not. It wasn't rare, and the whole having sex with the daughter and the mother thing, also not rare, also not unheard of. My thing is that he just did it. He just did it in a very more prolific way, but it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, the stories like they were coming in and out. Like it was almost a train of them.
I've always dated older guys. So I can definitely understand that. I feel like
you weren't being fast when you was young, were you?
Fast.
I
wasn't being fast, but I did lose my virginity early. But I wasn't being fast. I was with one guy for a long time.
I lost mine early.
I mean, come on. Like I have 4 sisters, right? A lot of women say when they're 15, 16, their limit was 5 years older.
Yeah, and that's normally what it was.
Yeah. Isn't that?
They looked at like,
so what's the difference?
Like, you still in my school, like fuck.
But my thing was, and even for I wouldn't want my daughter to lose her virginity at the age that I lost mine.
You don't want to tell us what age?
No. I was 12.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I was 12. So I wouldn't want her. I wouldn't want that to be the case. And here's my reasoning behind it. Just thinking back to when I was 12. I mean, I thought, well, I was in love, but I wasn't emotionally mature enough to deal with everything that came with that.
Of course.
So that's my biggest thing. Like if he's 20-something, 30-something, 40-something year old man and you still fucking with 14-year-olds.
Yeah, something ain't right there.
Like, to me, there's an issue there because there's not, that emotional maturity isn't there. And this is me speaking, and I lived a very grown-ass life before the age of 12. Like, grown as fuck. So I was definitely way past my peers, but I still wasn't mature enough to deal with what could have come with that, let alone what actually did. So that's the part that scares me. Now, these 15, 16, 17-year-olds, I don't know why, but in my mind, it feels like it's a little different. And it's probably because of where I was at that age. But like 14, 13, it makes me uncomfortable.
It's a line. And
it makes me uncomfortable.
It's a line that can be jumped across easily. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and it also depends on what state you're in. Because some states, your age of consent can be 16. In other states, for example, in South Carolina, I don't know if it still is, but it was lowered to 14 at one point.
Jesus Christ.
I remember it being lowered to 14, and I remember thinking, damn, you can't even get married until you're 16, but you can fuck at 14?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of men that
I
fucking little 14.
I think it's like a puberty thing, though. I think that's what a puberty thing.
What is it?
Like how you said 12, and then you feel like it's okay with a 15, 17, or a 16-year-old. I think it's a puberty thing. Like,
well,
that don't mean that you have.
I'm not saying it's like that. I'm saying.
I mean, most like my daughters, all three of my daughters got the period about the same time, or at about 11.
Yeah, I was.
That's not the age where you want to deal with consent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but like she said, is every 16-year-old the same?
No.
Is every, I mean, that's the danger of R. Kelly.
Every 20-year-old ain't the same.
It's just in my experiences with 15 and 16-year-old girls, when I was in high school, even in talking to 30-something-year-old women now, when they were 15 and 16, their limit was 5-6 years.
Oh yeah.
And they wasn't talking about 9-year-olds. Also, most of my friends who lost their virginity, my male friends, lost it at 12. And it was to a 19, 18-year-old woman.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So that's not talked about, though. But that happens a lot.
A whole lot.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
every day.
It happens both directions. Even in schools, like my teachers.
Listen.
I mean, you talking about looking back? I'm like, that shit was wow.
We had
crazy.
We had one teacher, the ding on ROTC, the head of the ROTC. He married the girl that he was fucking with, and the family knew about it.
Everything.
She showed you the yammers?
Showing her joints. I was like, back then, I'm like,
she showed you her yammers.
I thought it was normal shit.
Bro?
It would be something she'll be fired for today.
Yo, and it's crazy.
Even
when I was in high school, we had a teacher. I'm not gonna put a name out there because she's still teaching. But
not high school.
Yo, she was bad as shit.
I would have to take her out.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, it's enough.
She was my homeroom teacher. She had the fat, pretty. She was young too, so she was pretty young. Had the fat butt, no waist, big titty, all that. Like, she was just bad, and it was. We knew it, but it was a rumor, air quotes, that it was, people on the football team that was, fucking. It's
always the football team, bro.
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, yo, I'm, 15, 16. I'm like, yo, let me get a chance. I'm skeeting her, yo. That's how I felt. Like, I'm gonna skeet her. They're like, nigga, you about to skeet that cheese? I'm about to skeet that cheese, bro.
Yeah, it's too much.
They're like, damn. Now that I think about it, that we call pussy cheese back in the day. That is terrible.
Yeah, I personally, I can't.
That's a Rock Hill thing.
I don't have a fair scale to judge what's an appropriate age and what isn't. All I know is it feels uncomfortable when I hear, like, even with my background, it feels uncomfortable to hear, like, 14 and 22, or it just makes, I don't know why, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. So I guess all I can go off is what's legal in the state, and shit, if they was 15, 16, it's legal. Fuck.
Like what Joe said, this is basically, your thoughts are brand new. That's something that just, like, happened a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Years before that, people was getting married at 12.
They were, you know, and that shit not okay either.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, like,
it was a norm.
It was.
The reason why this is kind of happening now is because I think human society is on a transition from that. And when you're on a transition from that, you're gonna have leftovers. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have those people that still think that way.
Well,
and
what about the whole Christians who, well, I don't want to bring religion into it, but they say, they talk down about R. Kelly or whatever. But if you look at the Bible, which I was just looking at, like, basically it says once a woman reaches puberty, it's fair game. Like, it's whatever, and that could be.
I don't think that they subscribe to that anymore. I think that was an Old Testament thing.
That was back in the day.
Yeah, and it was also the culture at that time period.
That's what I'm saying. So here's what I'm saying. So, but a lot of people, who prescribe to that. Now I don't know if it changed anything in the New Testament, but is it the laws of man that have changed that?
Well, that was never. As far as I know, I haven't read the whole Bible, but as far as I know, it was never. It was the culture that at the time at which it was written. Like, back then, if you were married to a man and your husband died, you automatically became the property of the husband's brother. Like, shit like that. Like, women weren't their own in general. And I don't know a whole lot of Christians that
kind of property.
I don't know a whole lot of now Christians that subscribe to that either. So I don't.
So then
Also, even when it goes to the 10 Commandments where they say man should not lay with man, it actually said man should not lay with boy or children. That's how it translated from the original text.
now, but then it goes into when does it get cut off from when they're a child? Then?
Oh, back then it was puberty. Back then, for them, it was puberty for them. But I don't know. The only Christians that I know that subscribe to that now are like Latter Day, like what they call it? Yeah, like the traditional Latter Day Saints and shit. Yeah, like what's my man name that's in jail right now? He got the whole following. Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff
Sessions? No, not Sessions.
Dang,
Sorry.
Sorry.
No.
The Attorney General. Oh,
she probably has a whole group of boys.
They probably would. But it's not Jeff Sessions. It's not Jeff Sessions. I'm mad. It's Jeff somebody. I forgot his last name, but it's like
Jeff somebody.
Jeff. It is just somebody. The Jeff, man. Don't name your child Jeff.
Jeff.
But yeah, they subscribe to that. So once girls reach, like, he has child brides. Like, he has like 50-something brides, and his youngest bride was like 12 when she got pregnant. But yeah, I don't know anyone that subscribes to that now, and I don't know anyone that.
Well, of course not.
That would say.
But I'm just saying, like, things like what R. Kelly is doing, like Joe was saying, was acceptable back in the day.
Yeah, nobody's denying that.
Yeah, so it's like.
But just because it was acceptable doesn't mean it was okay. It was just.
I mean, it was something where if you're, back in the day, if you're talking about procreation and building your family, you're not waiting to get married in your late 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
you're marrying somebody younger, and you're procreating from like 14 to 27, and that's it. And you're having 12, 13 children sometimes. That's just culturally how it was.
Maybe
now,
read the Old Testament and took it to heart.
But
well, R. Kelly, the problem is, I think some laws have changed because it's like they went over.
Not all that.
Like, you know how most laws are written, they go over the top. Like, they went to 18, but because where do you cut the line off at?
Yeah.
Right? 16, 15. I know that 15, 16-year-old girls are routinely fucking people 5, 6 years older than them. That's period across the board. Famous or not. When you're famous, it just goes to another level. It makes it far easier with far greater numbers. The only thing the R. Kelly thing is that you have 19-year-old girls, 17-year-old women, and they're acting like they don't know what it is. Yeah. But 17, 18-year-old girls, they know what it is by now.
And I think there's another aspect to this as well, which is allegedly. Like, he kind of has like a makeshift harem. Like, there are women that live with him and stay with him, and they're not. Yeah. He doesn't necessarily have a gun to their head, like they could leave, but
check to their head.
But they don't for various reasons, and it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. So I think that also speaks.
Got him in a stabbing.
That also speaks to why, or in my opinion, that it makes sense as to why he would prefer younger women or girls, because it's easier to meld them at those younger ages. Like, I'm sure you could find a 30-year-old that would be down for it, but she wouldn't be as loyal as somebody that you caught at 15.
Now, what about this part though? That a lot of
I also want to know why his wife was married to him for 10 years. Like,
the bread, of course.
She was a part of it too.
I want to know why people.
She was getting.
Well, I want to know why people come down so hard on R. Kelly when allegedly. There's a lot of moms out here who was offering their daughters for him for the bread. Nobody comes down on them as hard as they come down on R. Kelly. Like, nobody, like they alleged, but nobody says anything about the moms really who basically sold their daughter to him for.
They fucked up too, but they ain't famous, so.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, I saw Wendy Williams on this show.
Jesus.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
And I think she produced it.
She did.
She produced the R. Kelly. She did.
She did.
Oh,
I'm like, make a documentary about your husband.
They gonna get sued.
Like,
she just got what's her name? She just got what's her name?
They about to get
Because her husband out here fucking mad chicks.
I mean, apparently he got a second side baby now.
Yeah. Make one about that dude, but I mean, it's like this, like
that credibility shot.
Even in jobs with regular dudes with some level of power have a number of women. You have R. Kelly, this is world famous dude. Mm-hmm. You have Michael Jackson, the type of dude where he didn't use his power for that, but use it for other things. But R. Kelly could do that. Like, that's just what I mean. It's not surprising to me. You look at other jobs, right? If you work at the police department and you have a black chief, how many women does he have? How many? Dozens, right? If he wanted to. That's just how it goes. Like, it's not like surprising. Any job I worked at, but somebody has some kind of power, and let alone if they're a CEO and they're making $20 million a year, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So why would that be surprising? It's not. I don't even think you have to have a 14-year-old girl. You can have girls in their 20s, and that's what's going to happen. All the time, every job I've been at, private, public, federal, it's going to go.
You've had a lot of jobs too.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just seen it with my own eyes. Like, I've seen that Bristol Myers. So I saw a mid-level, I would say a vice president, in charge of sales, and he had his foot on the table, and the secretary's like this, writing her note, and his joints is right there, and she's taking the dictation every day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the corporate.
That's pretty wild.
This is the corporate environment. They have very few alpha black males in those offices, generally speaking, and that's what I've seen. So, I mean, it's a horrible. I mean, I guess it's horrible to look at, but on the flip side of that, I just see that a lot of women do operate in that environment, and to some degrees they hate it, and some degrees they seem to love it.
Yeah.
So hard to judge it. No judgment here, but I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yeah. I also feel like one of the reasons why it hasn't really been a whole lot of legal action, short of these women, these girls are 15 and 16, and it's probably legal. And they say, oh, well, why Bill Cosby and not him? Who? R. Kelly ain't threatening nobody. He ain't threatening the system. He ain't. I mean, the white man ain't worried, bruh.
That nigga out here making music.
He perpetuating the system.
Yeah,
These bitches getting pregnant off his songs. They ain't worried about this nigga, like, for what? He ain't telling them fight the power.
That's what it was.
Probably.
He ain't telling them fight the power.
I think people still think he in jail and shit. So.
Huh?
I think people think he's still in jail.
Who?
These people out here. That's why they
think who's in jail.
R. Kelly.
That nigga never went to jail.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like people think he's there, so they're not fucking with him.
He's still doing protests. He's still doing concerts.
Yeah, that nigga been, yeah.
Bro, he was just in Africa about who got their passport.
America.
Because wait. I feel like this. They only attacked Bill Cosby because remember there was a whole thing going around saying Bill Cosby dead.
No. Around the time that what's my man name? I forgot his name. That made the joke.
You talking about Hannibal Buress?
Hannibal Buress. Around the time that he made the joke or whatever. This was also around the time that Bill Cosby started doing his touring. He was trying to buy a TV station. Like, he was trying to educate the black community and tell them what they need. Like, he was being vocal. And then, after this joke, now everything came back around. The original lady that accused him, she wrote a whole op-ed that was in the news at the time that it happened. That shit ran one time, and they buried that shit.
That's cool. You know what, though? And I wanted to touch on that real quick. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. Shout out to them because that podcast is dope as shit. Y'all should listen to it.
Joe Rogan is interesting.
So he had the comedian Joey Coco Diaz. A lot of people probably don't know who that is, but he's been in a lot of movies. He was in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler. He was the real fat dude, basically. That was him. Dude is hilarious. Like, the dude is hella hilarious. He was like, yo, the problem with like Bill Cosby, because he was like, yo, Weinstein's probably about to like beat that shit. Because he actually going to put up the bread to do it. He said, yo, he broke the whole thing down. I mean, it's still a scenario, but he broke it down where he's like, yo, Weinstein's going to get rid of the lawyer he got now after a while. He's going to probably get a black female lawyer and maybe some other female lawyer. So that's going to appeal to whatever. And that's all just because he has the money to do it. He's going to pay the extra money to do it. Like Bill Cosby, from what he says, like, yo, he could have beat that shit. He just didn't pay the money really to actually go ahead with it. Because, I mean, when you look at it, they really, truly didn't even have no evidence against him to really get him out the paint like that. You know what I'm saying?
I would not agree with that. I mean, he paid tens of millions of dollars for his legal fees. And he talking about Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't know if Weinstein has more money than Cosby had.
I don't think he does.
I don't think so.
Cosby worth $350 million.
Yeah.
Well, Weinstein owned a company.
If he ain't got Bill Cosby, it's damn close. I guarantee you.
It's close.
There's another thing too. He's white.
First of all, he's talking about Pennsylvania and New York. Two different.
Yeah, we're talking about what?
Two different situations.
LA or some shit.
Two different situations. You have if you go with the idea that they want to run those pipelines through his property. If you want to go with those ideas about Cosby
or
Weinstein.
How much is Bill Cosby?
350.
What is
Weinstein worth? 240.
That's not bad. That's right there.
And that's off a lot of what he could have been worth. Yeah. I mean, even when you talk about buying a network, I think people talk about Cosby buying a network, his son being shot.
Yeah.
From what I understand, Autumn Jackson, who was jailed.
Oh, damn, I thought it was another damn Jackson from Jackson.
No, Autumn Jackson was his legitimate daughter.
My bad.
But she had 2 Russian co-conspirators that were jailed as well. The day they got locked up is the day his son was shot. So I think it was more about retribution for that than the NBC thing. But
TC's doubles.
The thing about it is that, what about all of the people who are pedophiles for real? Like, or people in
the community,
in industry, well, even in Hollywood, if you want to.
I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know about pedophiles like that until I seen that Chris Hansen shit. That's really what opened my eyes. That How to Catch a I ain't even gonna lie. I did not know that it was that bad. I'm just being just an oblivious person to it because I never been exposed to it. When I started watching it, that 2005 or something when it started, when I was watching that shit, I was like, yo, it's a real problem out here. Like,
but keep it funky though. Like, am I the only person who? I don't find pedophilia funny at all. But I thought that the encounters with that shit was hilarious.
Oh, the shit they would say was crazy. He'd be like, you came over here with beer for a 14-year-old. Like, what are you trying to? You got condoms?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I just can't.
You said you were dick.
I was telling him to stay in school.
No, he never said because you said you was gonna lick her blank and then blink her blank and then shoot blank all over her face. I was like, no, I shouldn't do that.
I was trying to give her a soda.
I was trying to tell her that people out here can be dangerous and.
I saw one. So this dude was like, "Yo, but I called out of work for this." Yo, I was like, "What?" Yeah. He was a doctor. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, the shit that
and I guarantee you, he might have lost his license in that state, but he practiced in another state.
Oh, he done.
He'd be like, he'd be like, "Aren't you Mr. Dill Pickle 69?"
No.
But that's your profile pic next to it.
That's not me.
Somebody screenshot it.
You have all of these chiefs of police. You have all these people around the world.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3-year-olds. You're talking about 5-year-olds. And that's not really in the media. Like, that's my only problem with the Bill Cosby thing. I mean, he did some unsavory shit, yes. R. Kelly, he did some unsavory shit. He hurt young girls' lives. I understand all of that, but it seems like it's only focused on those 2 people when people that I know that work in the field, that work with sex crime victims as lawyers, what they see every day is 95% white males. And these
people do not get that much
white
time
males, and they get slaps on the wrist.
Yeah. And
they talking about 8-year-olds like exposing themselves. And they're not getting the same amount of airplay. They're not getting perk ball. That's my only problem with that because a lot of what I saw, at least on the R. Kelly shit, was stuff that, if you're talking about Aaliyah was a known fact. Nobody seemed, at least at the moment in '94.
Nobody had an issue with it, including her parents.
Nobody said nothing about that. He reportedly paid her $100 not to pursue legal action, Aaliyah. So, I mean, it's like, it's bad, but it's like, I'm just saying, in reality, the people who are dealing with 5-year-old children, 8-year-old children, that's why, what Josh said, it seems to be more of a war on heterosexual behavior than true pedophilia.
I saw this interview. Watching my prison documentaries, y'all. I love these shows. But there's I forgot what state it's in, but there's a prison where they send all sex offenders to that one prison. Mm-hmm. For the most part, they're all sex offenders. And there was a guy, he was 67.
Jesus.
He had been to jail 14 different times.
Damn.
All of his cases were rape, and or like rape of grown women or rape and molestation of children.
That wasn't a booty warrior.
No, it was an older. I'm assuming it was a white guy. He blurred his face because he was about to get out of jail again for the 15th time.
Why would they blur his face?
He requested that.
Fuck that.
So so far they had documented 19, but he said that there were hundreds that they would never know about because he would threaten like, oh, I'll kill your family, I know where you live, I'll come kill you. And this man, he had gotten out of jail, he was about to get out on his 15th time. Meanwhile, you got guys out here who going to jail after 3 strikes for selling drugs and they got life. But you letting this man come back and he's saying I'm gonna do it again. He's saying I know why I do it. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's not that I got an issue with these people. He said I know why I do it. I got an issue with my daddy and I'm trying to do everything I can to fuck up the family name. And that's what he said. And that's it. And they letting this man out. He was about to get out within 60 days. At 67, and he's still out here doing the same damn thing. That's crazy, bro.
The main problem I have is, number one, I don't give a fuck if he requested to have his face blurred out. People need to know who the fuck.
No, they can't do that. They would have been sued.
Nah, somebody got to know who this person is.
They would have been sued.
Because it's
if you live in that
request,
state,
then
if
they
live in that state, he has to register, and if they live in that state, they have to register. But
I mean, he registered. That don't mean that he might be out there really telling people that.
But the production company couldn't do that. Then that would have messed up their money.
Yeah, that's a legal thing.
That's whack as shit. Because I'm looking like, what's stopping him from like?
Well, and then the lady that interviewed, she said she felt conflicted about hiding his face, but she also said that was the most education that she had ever received in regards to how predators hunt. Because he was like, oh, well, this is what I would do, or I would catch you here, or this, that, and the third, blah, 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 XYZ. Like, he was telling all of this. Extended stay, but it's on Netflix.
Because this is interesting to me.
It's on Netflix, but
look, I know.
Yeah, I was baffled, and I always say that I don't understand how men get 10 or people. I won't say just men, but people get 10 to 15 years for selling drugs. But meanwhile, if you fuck up a little 8-year-old's life, you can get out in 3 years, and you can.
I was just saying, piggyback for what she said. And as you look at what's kind of not talked about anymore was, remember those girls being found in rivers and in Georgia, and the girls missing in D.C., young black girls for the most part. It's like, that's not talked about, but that's also a part of this whole scenario where it's like, yes, R. Kelly, there's some questionable shit. It should be corrected on some level, but not at the absence of not dealing with things like that. And I think that same reporter could have gone to any courthouse, like the one in Passaic County that my homegirl works at, and seen for herself all the cases that get a pity pat on the wrist, and every day. So it's just crazy. But meanwhile, Cosby is rotting in jail for doing things with grown women to a varying degree of certainty about what exactly happened. But
I don't mean to change the narrative, but it's something else I want to talk about. No, it's not. It's still entertainment, but I mean, I just wanted to get everybody's opinion while we all, because I haven't seen y'all in 2 times, so I just want the 21 Savage lyric where he said, "We've been getting Jewish money. Everything is kosher."
I ain't got no problem with it.
LeBron posted on Instagram. He got backlash from it.
From who?
From apparently the Jewish community.
Oh, they felt some type of way about it?
Yeah.
Why did they feel some type of way about it?
I don't think anybody ever explained why they felt some type of way about it.
Well, I mean, I won't say, like, I understand. First, if I'm not Jewish, I can't say that I understand where they're coming from. That's why I want to know, well, what was it that made it offensive? Because I don't know.
If you listen to the lyric, and like I said, he was basically saying,
they get bread.
Yeah, we trying to get bread like y'all, because the way black people look at Jewish people is they get bread, they own shit, they control shit. That's what we want to get to. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why I said I got a problem with it. That's not even.
Yeah, but you're not Jewish. Like, you're not gonna have a problem with it.
But I know a lot of other people who are Jewish. It's like they're like, yeah, we know we get bread. They keep things in the community. Yeah. That's just how it works. Like, they know what they do. Whoever had a real problem with it either had to be one of these new age younger dudes who wanted to just be mad at things for the sake of being mad at it. Because older, like, Jewish dudes, like growing up north, they knew what it was. We used to always fuck with the Jewish people, like, yo, this and that, yo, we trying to get like y'all. They're like, yeah, let me teach you about money.
Here's the thing, Josh. Was it even really real Jewish people that was commenting, or was
I don't know exactly.
Or is it just like social justice warriors?
It might have been social justice.
Well, here's the thing, though. My problem wasn't even with none of that. My problem was I listened to the 21 Savage album. I listened to that song. That was one verse, and everything else he was talking about shooting niggas. So I got choppers in my car. I'm riding around your hood. I'm shooting niggas. Try me, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off. I'm selling dope. I'm in the hood. Nobody had a problem with all that other shit he said.
Listen,
but because he said one line about Jewish people, that was the one offender thing.
If our community got a problem with it, then stop listening to the shit.
These social justice warriors out here just like basically talking for other people, for other races. That's all they do. They just like a regular person that has nothing to do with that race or that culture.
Somebody please talk for us. Hello.
Oh no, they ain't gonna talk for us.
Shit.
I also want to put some positive news in because I think we've been talking about a lot of negative shit.
What's up?
I've seen that today was the first of the House of Representatives, and they said the most diverse.
Over 100 women of color were sworn in.
Women of color.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be
800.
So shouts out to the women who are newly elected and
yeah, bro.
Newly elected government.
Shout out to them. And I don't the black woman, she already been arrested.
Oh shit.
What the hell? She
damn, already?
The first day?
Nah,
that was before she got sworn.
Do anybody know anything about government or politics?
It was in the house. They were having some kind of discussion, a disagreement per usual. And she was standing where she was allowed to stand and following the rules. But whoever the white man was felt like his authority was being threatened. Okay, so they called the cops on her and they put her in handcuffs along with some other people that were standing with her.
That's terrible.
And they like marched her out. And I was like, y'all wilding out here, but stand your ground, sis.
They're wilding.
You be back. Stand your ground. Maxine is proud. They are violence, but shout out to them. Okay, I also wanted to talk about this whole. Y'all heard about Country Wayne and Just Hilarious and all of that?
Shit. What about it? I don't know nothing about any of that.
I know who Country Wayne is.
I know exactly who they are, but I don't know what happened.
Country Wayne's cool, but
recently.
I mean, he's funny, kind of.
Recently, some things came. Well, Country Wayne posted an Instagram video of a ring that Just Hilarious purchased for him, and he was like, "Ooh, I never, no one ever bought me anything like this. This nice bowl of XYZ. Hold on, let me finish. So, and then Jess was in the video. So shortly after that, Shade Room got a hold of it, of course, and the Country Wayne's estranged wife did like this whole post, and she was like, I don't really know where this is coming from. We're still married. Maybe that would explain why he hasn't seen his kids in 2 weeks, blah, 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 XYZ. Basically just painting Just Hilarious as like a homewrecker, for lack of a better word. Jess went on live, and she was basically like, I mean, yeah, y'all married, but y'all been separated for like 2 years, and he officially filed on the 26th. She was like, I thought that y'all was officially divorced. Honestly, she was like, that's what I thought happened on the 26th, but apparently he just officially filed. But she was like, y'all been not together, and apparently he had been pursuing her the whole time. Like, so from the first time he saw her, he had been pursuing her because they have the same manager, and she blocked him, and she did not respond to him for those whole 2 years. It wasn't until after he could show proof that, okay, yeah, this is done, this marriage is over, that's when they started entertaining each other, according to her. So she was like, don't paint me as a homewrecker. Yes.
I thought Just Hilarious was dealing with somebody.
No, they've been broke up.
Okay, so that
Chris
dude with the braids.
Yeah, they've been broke up.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been broke up. Yeah. And she also added, I'm still single as fuck, so
shout out to Just Hilarious.
Chris Brown, get at me. So but it was just interesting. Like, I was like, she bad. Yeah.
She got a nice little body too.
She did.
Her body's bad. Like
but I ain't gonna lie, them days when she had them bad hair days.
Oh, them shit was
rough. Oh, them edges still ain't there, but she working on it though.
Oh, yeah, that shit was rough.
Nah, when they be having roasting sessions and shit, that shit.
But she know that though. She know that.
She can't really. I don't like the roasting shit because she's not really funny with it.
Nah, I don't know, bro. I ain't seen nobody fuck with her really on that roast.
Yeah, because Meek Mill is easy to roast though.
And it was someone else that she addressed, but I don't know. Anywho, yeah, it was just interesting, like, because without that, most people would have just, or most women I think would have just kind of fell back and let the conversation carry on however it was going. And I don't understand why his soon-to-be ex-wife would be that vindictive. Because apparently she was aware also that he was attracted to Jess Hilarious. So what's the point? Like, why you gotta paint her in a bad light? You ain't mad at her, you mad at him.
Really?
I don't understand. She did everything she could. She blocked him. She stopped talking to her. Like, what else do you want from her?
Nothing.
I think
She's just mad for the sake of being mad.
A lot of what goes on today is things that and I'm not an academics fan. DJ Academics. But he coins the term clout chasing. I mean, I ain't gonna say he coined it, but he uses it a lot, and the shit he be saying makes sense because you don't hear from people until some shit happens and they ride the coattails of the situation of somebody famous to get their likes or whatever up. When I ain't gonna say it don't have nothing to do with her, you know what I'm saying, because she is the ex-girlfriend, wife or whatever. But obviously they got their own situation that's apart from her. So whatever she had to say was really not necessary is all I'm saying. And
I agree.
So it's almost like and then a lot of people take situations that don't got nothing to do with them and they'll attach themselves to a situation with somebody famous and at the same time be like, oh yeah, I got a book coming out, y'all look out for it, or check my Instagram page, or you know what I'm saying, shit like that. It's like, come on, bro, you obviously clout chasing, trying to attach yourself to a situation with somebody famous that ain't got nothing to do with you because you got some other shit going on that you're trying to get attention to.
I mean, I agree with you on one level, but doesn't it happen all the time? Like, people break up, people get with somebody else, and people still feel like the other person is responsible for what happened with their relationship. Like,
that happens, but I guess for me, it's baffling because it's one thing when you have a misconception, like personally, when you have a misconception, but you have that misconception from the facts. When people misconstrue the facts to make it seem one way or the other, I'm like, why? Like, I don't, for what?
Yeah, I mean, I have like, even the people in my family, for example, they'll misconstrue facts all the time. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how people say again?
It annoys me.
Yeah, people do, like.
Bro, people want to hear what they think they want to hear instead of just taking the information for what it is.
Oh, and side note, she was the one that actually filed for the divorce, the wife.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she got something going on as far as a book or poem, but
niggas said poem. God.
I mean, not poem. I mean, book or.
I'm about to say, damn, niggas getting famous off poems.
Hey, you never know. I might bring the poem back.
I'm about to say she Homer out here. Hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Odyssey. What's up? Yeah. All of it.
Come on. Boy, Odysseus?
Language jokes.
Oh, then Odysseus and Penelope.
Sorry. I'm just saying, like, and I'm not saying she's doing any of that. It's just like things like that happen so much with this whole internet culture that it's hard to take people serious nowadays when they have issues with things because you don't know if they really got an issue with it or they just doing it for attention because they got an ulterior motive of something they trying to promote or whatever. Yeah. And they just want the attention pendulum swung back their way. Damn, I like how I use that. But
words.
Yeah. So very nice. Yeah, so I think a lot of times it's hard to tell whether shit is really an issue or just something they just, like I said, they just want the attention swung back their way because they have something they might want to promote or, whatever. They're trying to get more likes or followers.
Like, people don't live for themselves anymore. They live for fame. Essentially, that's what the issue is.
I mean, yeah.
Like, they'll get married because it's boosting their fame. And then that's the reason why you see all these people getting married and cheating on each other. Bro. Because the whole fame thing.
Bro, that's why I don't fuck with, like, people do shit, again, like you said, social media likes and all that. Like, I don't post nothing on social media really and truly about anything, especially when it comes to my relationship. I try not to. I keep it simple. Like, hey, she cooked.
Most of my posts aren't even from me. I just repost funny shit.
I noticed that. That is awesome.
I seen something on the internet and it was the worst. Like I said, I hope it wasn't real because it's hard to tell. But this is just like, this shows you how fucked up society is. I seen a dude. He posted himself beside his mom when she on her dying bed and he was trying to get he was like, mom, he was like, her pulse had went out or whatever, like she had flatlined. He was trying to he was like holding the camera, holding the phone up to himself, talking about, mom, wake up, and her arms was lifeless.
Right,
and I'm like, bro.
I don't even want to talk about that no more. more,
Yeah.
bro.
No, I'm just saying like that just shows you the
People
Yeah.
fall
morality
off.
has
They
I mean,
fallen
I'm
by
not-
the wayside
I would
because
say-
everybody wants
just want
attention.
likes, man.
I'm not surprised. The town that I moved here from, Macon, Georgia, a young lady was recently gunned down like on Facebook Live. And it was crazy because when I was there, I volunteered with students, and she was one of the students that I volunteered with.
Oh wow.
And
Oh,
you
is
would
that that
think-
video that was online that everybody was talking about?
Yeah, and
I seen
they
that.
took it off. But it was just insane to me because I remember like talking with her, and this was a person that had like dreams and goals, and she had a 1-year-old son, and
Where the guys had the guns out and shit like that. and she-
I didn't even see the video. I didn't watch
Oh,
it.
yeah, I
I
seen
didn't
the
want to
video.
see it. Apparently,
Really?
she had got into it with some people, and she met up to fight, but they didn't meet up to fight, and like they were recording it going in, like knowing what they were about to do,
Oh,
and
so
I
okay.
was just
Jeez.
baffled. Like I was floored. Like
It's ridiculous.
I can't even comprehend it.
I don't want to comprehend it.
I can't. That's crazy.
People would rather record you getting fucked up than actually help you.
Listen,
that's
if you
crazy.
can get the same amount of followers if you hurt yourself, that's all I'm saying. Like, just do it to you.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I'm
Dumb as fuck.
just saying, you want to hurt somebody, you jump. You know what I'm saying? You jump. Do like these white boys, flip off some shit. You know what
I'm about to say, because white people, they don't give a fuck. They don't
Stop
mind
that
hurting
dumb
themselves
shit.
to get some
No.
likes. Like,
Go
we
ahead.
rather hurt each other to
I'm
get
saying? You know how
likes.
many times we replay if you break your ankle? Like, come on, bro.
And then you know what's funny? Like, oh man, bro, I broke my ankle.
Look at that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
That is all.
That's all it is.
Ridiculousness,
Go down to infamy.
Tosh.0.
I
that
love
is-
ridiculousness.
That is all just white dudes fucking each other up.
Take a
And
note. Stop shooting people.
You don't never see us on here. Like, they wouldn't have a show with us because we be shooting each other and fighting and fucking each other up.
Jackass, all that shit. You know what I'm
Exactly. But,
Crack ass.
okay. Yeah, we're gonna leave on that note.
Hold on, I got one more thing. Before we leave out. Do anybody have anything in the 2019 that you'd like to see happen? I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna tell you what I'd like to see happen. I would like to see Drake and Kanye squash their beef and make a dope ass fucking song. Or a collab album. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Okay.
Damn, bro.
You know what? Now that you say that, talked about it in 2018, but I would like to see Ying Yang Twins make a Christmas album.
Oh.
along with the Migos.
Twerking under the mistletoe?
That's what I would like to see. Make it happen, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I wanna see that shit.
I do. Forget you.
What Oz wants some more money.
Take the mic from
I'm talking about, wait. I'm talking about all of us getting paid, you know? Just a raise.
Now you want to say all of you. Say Oz wants to.
Oz
Exactly.
first.
That's not what
Nobody
you
else
said
gonna
at
get
first.
it. I mean, I want all of y'all to
Oz
get it, but
gonna
if
be
nobody
first.
gets it, I want it. You know what I'm saying? It's a limited amount of funds.
Anybody else got anything they want to see?
No, you got anything?
2019?
Yeah, anything you like to see happen?
I'll start with myself first. Of course, healthy baby, healthy wife, healthy everything. You know, that's obvious. Let me see. The Trump presidency.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I swear to God, I was just thinking about it. I would love to see that man get impeached.
The whole cabinet got to go because if he go,
Yeah,
then
true,
his vice president comes.
Well, two main things.
Don't want to see that nigga.
The end of Israeli settlements and the Trump presidency. I want to see an indictment.
Yeah, I can say that in the
I
indictment.
can see an indictment. You
you
know.
better wish upon a star. You better do
Other
it.
than, I mean, yeah.
Talking about.
Other than
Shouts
that,
out to Robert Mueller, man. He on the shit now. He on the shit. He fucking everything up.
the FBI is on shutdown too. But
Oh yeah.
Yo, he don't care. Like, he's working.
Damn,
Somebody
I didn't even
said-
think about that.
somebody said that's why they.
Yeah,
Right, you know what?
I didn't even
Because
think
that's
about
the.
that.
Someone said that to
I
me.
forgot about it.
That's
Everybody did say that.
crazy.
So they didn't want him to investigate.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut
That's
this shit down forever.
insane, bro.
Cause you see, like right before, like last week, I was saying that.
Yeah.
Like right before
Because
this
you
shit
know what?
happened.
They were at first he was saying, according, I was listening to NPR, and they were saying at first he was saying if the Democrats come up with a bill and they pass it, like I won't veto it, like it's fine, whatever, or if they agree on the bill, House and Senate, I won't veto it. And then shortly after that, he was like, oh, if I don't have the money for my wall, then I'm gonna veto it. It doesn't matter.
But at the same time, the Trump Foundation was shuttered.
Yeah, I
That
seen that.
same day, pretty much.
Yep. I seen that.
And then they had something about he.
They had his name on the bill talking about he had tried to build that hotel in Russia. They got his name on like a bill or like a paperwork. Like,
then he gave like $300,000 to the Central Park Conservatory to repair a fountain in front of his own fucking hotel. Then he gave $7 to the Boy Scouts of America.
$7.
That's how much it cost to put his child in. His son was 7 at the time. They had a whole investigation about it.
That's
the little boy, what's
crazy.
his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
Baron.
Yeah. It cost $7 for the child.
That's befitting.
But yeah, so I think that's part of the reason as well.
Damn.
So yes.
Boy Scouts is bankrupt now,
yeah.
though.
Who?
Boy Scouts is bankrupt now.
Too many lawsuits.
Yeah.
Too many lawsuits.
There's a lot.
Could have been trouble.
We got one.
There's too much.
Yeah, that's too much to talk about right now. But that's crazy. I didn't think about that. That's insane. Can you guys ask your coworker, the one that is a Trump supporter, how he feels? He not
I haven't
getting
seen him
paid?
talking about Sean.
No, so he's not really a supporter.
There's many though.
He's really not.
There's many.
He does this shit where he likes to like play devil advocate,
Oh.
leave
I
the
just-
question there,
I would
and
be
then
curious
go
to
away
know, like,
and let
what-
y'all argue.
I'd
about
be
it.
curious to know like what the supporters feel because y'all supported him because he said Mexico was going to build a wall. Now, y'all motherfuckers ain't getting no paycheck because Mexico ain't paid for this wall. So how you feel? Like
I get what you're saying. Like all our other coworkers. Oh, this is what I saw. They was like, verbatim, y'all should have been saving money anyway for this shutdown, so y'all don't have to worry about that.
So we just not going. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how they're not gonna admit the fact that, you know what, this is kind of wrong. This is fucked up. Like, cause we get this like a TSA group and shit on Facebook, and you just see what people say, and it's like you look at them like, you actually work for us
for $1 a month.
Yeah. I've heard that too. Like other people, like it's kind of like coded racial language almost.
Oh yeah, that's
They
when
were
they call
saying-
us thugs.
They were
When
saying
it's really diet nigga.
Yeah, exactly. Die nigga, right? So they were saying things like,
Jesus Christ.
I heard everything from, if people were responsible with their money, it really wouldn't impact them as much. Like, it's kind of what you heard. I heard things like that. So anybody that's a known Trump supporter, I hear these type of things coming out their mouths right now.
The majority of his base isn't responsible with their money.
No, it's just coded racial language. Really. That's what that is.
It's not the crazy part is motherfuckers out here talking about that shit. Like, yeah, this and that. I'm like, the IRS was shut down too, right? What? It was? Yes.
You ain't getting that refund.
Dummy, like, you fucking idiot.
Exactly.
Like, that's how you can tell people don't know shit.
Them
Like,
shit's gonna be lit. They gonna be hype. Car dealerships gonna suffer.
Yeah. So what would you like to see? Happen?
I hope they stay
What I like
shut
to
down
see-
because I ain't trying to pay taxes soon. Go ahead.
This is exactly what I would like to see. I would like to see us as a group, on Facebook. I want to see us get nominated for an award. I want to see us continue to grow. This is what I want to
Who
show.
I got a date so we can get nominated.
Don't do that.
I'm just playing. This is a joke.
Nah, look, if you do, that's what's up.
No, I'm not.
But like with this app, this Anchor app, it ain't much. I mean, we can make money. We're making money, so we can make the money. Like, it's there. The opportunity is completely there. We just gotta seize it.
So wait, is that when they
With the sponsorship.
No, but when it's done being mastered or whatever and it's sent to us in the group message, is that the because
It should be.
maybe I didn't get the last one then.
No, he didn't put it.
He didn't put it out there.
Into the Anchor app?
Yeah, it's Anchor. Yeah, and
like a ship.
yeah, keep the shit.
So do they? I'm just trying to understand the people that go to listen. Do they have to pay to subscribe?
Nope.
No,
Free as fuck. All you
Okay,
gotta do is listen to
cool.
That's it.
Do they
got
even?
sponsorship.
And they don't even have to listen to the whole thing. They just gotta press play.
Yep.
Cool. Got it.
So it's kind of like view where you ain't gotta watch the whole video, but
Nope.
click view. It counts.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Because I look at it at the end of the day, with me personally, I'm gonna have personal growth, financial growth, and all that, no matter what. But as a group, I want to see all of us win. Because all of us, I mean, yeah, we might be happy where we're at, with jobs we have, cool. We could do more. Fuck it. Like, if we have an opportunity to do more, why not? We're a voice of our people. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of black podcasts. We're a voice of our people. We cover damn near every range and somewhat every demographic. You know what I'm saying? From women, when we had Jazz, shout out to Jazz. From the LGBTQ community, from older gentlemen, younger. Like, we cover all bases. The only thing we don't have is a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't got a white
guy. You know what? We need a white guy.
We need a white guy.
2019, we're going to get you guys a white guy.
Yeah, we need a white guy to be on the show. What?
I'll do whiteface.
Shut up!
Just come in ashy. Yes, you'll be all
Fuck
right.
out of here. That's a blah team. But I mean, like I said, I just want us to, continue to get there. Because I mean, my goal is we get a show or something. You know what I'm saying? We get somewhere where now all of us end up getting a check for doing this. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point where I might be like, I ain't gotta work like that no more. I'm actually doing something I enjoy. So that's what I want to see for 2019. Us grow even more. As people, as a group, come together a little bit more. Let's treat this. I look at y'all like family. So I want us to act like we're family. Sans the arguments and the fuck shit and somebody diddling their little cousin or some weird shit.
What?
That's what happens in families. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's have all the positive shit in the family.
Man, why you gotta go to
Because that's shit that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out to, speaking of family, those who aren't with us, they on IR, First 48, and of course, the Jai up in the sky.
What is IR?
Injured reserve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's a sports term.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Whatever. See. But yeah, like I said, I just want us to.
DMP?
I just want us to, be better. Because I know we got it. We're here. We can do it. I want us to end up getting that nomination. Shout out to No Advisory, but fuck that. We can do the same thing. That's how I look at it. Like, we can do it too. Like, fuck it. And if not do it once, let's do it twice. Let's do it 3 times. Let's keep doing it until we end up like Deezus and Mero with a show on Showtime or some shit. Yep. Or Viceland or something like that. Them niggas went from talking wild shit on Twitter to having a podcast to having a show. So the opportunity's there. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely do it. But that's all I want to see, man. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Y'all got anything else? Joe?
No.
Nothing. Kia? Josh?
Nope.
Great episode. I'm glad to see y'all guys back healthy. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some awesome guys. You know what I'm saying? New Year's.
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody.
You know what I'm saying? I went to this new year with this big dick energy. God damn it, y'all thought I was done. I wasn't done. I went to this shit with big dick energy. I was swinging that shit everywhere. I don't give a fuck.
We got BD energy.
What? New vagina?
Voodoo vagina.
Voodoo vagina. Oh, where? Oh, shit.
We got BD energy out here.
Oh, where you running from?
I came into this 2019 with cheap nigga energy. I ain't changing that part. Fuck
I say, nigga, that's the energy you had since I've known you.
I know, that's why I say I ain't changing.
So is it cheaper?
Oh shit!
Essentially,
it ain't gonna be cheap because if we go to Miami, it ain't about to be cheap, bro.
Nah, I'll be.
Frugal. I don't know if you guys have heard about Beltree before we leave.
Ooh,
it's a soul food vegan
Beltree,
spot in Charlotte. You went? Is it good?
Okay. What's it called?
Beltree is a vegan soul food spot in Charlotte. I'm trying to go.
Hold up. Vegan soul food.
A vegan soul food spot,
it's
black
wonderful.
owned.
It's good.
I'm trying to go. I'm going.
Hey,
it's worth
whenever
it.
everybody want to go,
and I'm gonna try to talk to somebody so they can come on the show.
And it's not expensive.
That works.
The chef.
That works.
The chef. Yeah.
She's cool as hell.
Somebody got to come on the show.
And it's not expensive
talk
at all.
about
You
it.
think it's gonna be more like the burger, the vegan burger, and the fries.
So what they got? Soy chopped ribs?
No, no soy in there. There's no soy.
This is all vegan.
All vegan, real vegan, not no soy shit.
I'll get there.
Where is this at?
Beltree,
Well, do you want to put out the address for people who might be listening and watching on YouTube who might want to go see?
Yeah, I can.
That's an interesting concept.
That sounds good.
Well, there was a place in New York that was a vegan soul food spot that I saw on TV once, and I was like, damn, I wish somebody would do that here.
Yeah.
So it's at 7945 North Tryon Street, number 110. So that's Charlotte, NC 28262.
Oh, okay.
That's what's up. I'm gonna check it out.
I'm trying to go. They open at 11.
I might take the old lady out there. We'll see.
They have pretty much you look it up. They have a daily menu.
I might try them.
They don't have everything every day, but they have a daily menu.
They got a lunch special?
He not here.
I'm trying
you will not get a loud special at the spot.
No, I don't worry about halal. I say lunch special. I want
like a $5.
Yeah, we getting paid. Damn.
We're not getting paid yet.
When we do, then I'll get the
look.
Okay,
we gonna at least get our check for
if y'all it's the hours are 11 to 3 and 5 to 8 tomorrow.
Piece of shit.
Say what?
I work overtime.
Tomorrow
Saturday.
the
I
hours
need
are
that
11 to 3 and 5 to 8.
11 to 3,
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that.
So
That's
I
good,
might have to
though.
hit up to 5 to 8 hours
Okay,
tomorrow.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, man.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything else other than people follow us on Anchor.
Please.
SoundCloud, I mean, if you still want to follow us on there, that's cool. But,
Love
you know,
us.
we're trying to move everything to Anchor.
Love us.
It's free. I mean, the app is extremely free.
Just hit play. You don't even gotta listen.
Yeah, you ain't got to listen to the whole fucking
Just
thing.
love
But
us.
it helps us out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Love us.
every little bit helps. Follow us on YouTube.
Love us.
You know, follow us on our group page on Facebook, honestly. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else, man.
Love us.
You said love us?
You
know what? Really, love us, because we're dope. But
Hey, that works, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Subconscious.
Yep.
I'm
Gotta
telling you,
be
they
nice to
keep
my
doing
head.
it every episode.
It's
But,
good now.
Exactly. But just for Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
Joe Cool.
Well, Jack, Joe of all trades.
Joe Schmo.
Joe Schmo.
Average Joe.
Go ahead.
Unreal fiction.
Just kidding.
Any hardware.
And this was the Unfamous Podcast, guys. Thank you for listening. Happy New Year's, and we'll holler at y'all later.
Goodbye.
Peace.